right, King. All right, that was Misfit Holiday with Camp 14. Right before that, Thunder Beaver with Come Clean.
Right.
I'm going to kill the background music here because now we got 3/5 of Behind the Gray with us. Grant has just joined us. Welcome, Grant.
Oh, no problem.
So we got Grant, Will, and Mike Behind the Gray with us. Guys, thank you. As you know, you're always welcome here. You know that.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you once again for having us in this wonderful.
Well, you'd show up anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I considered just showing up last week, but I think I fell asleep.
That's usually Mike's excuse for everything. I fell asleep.
It's all good.
You show up late for one show.
That's true. Mike has been late for one show in the entire 5-year history of Behind the Gray.
Well, that's a pretty. That's
but it was
bad.
our CD release party.
Oh, that's bad.
and I woke up as I was supposed to be setting up, and I was 40 minutes away.
Yeah, so I had to set up his drum kit that night. That did not go well.
That was why I played so bad.
Oh, guys. So I guess just for the folks out there who don't know or just tuning in, tell us about Behind the Gray, man. Give us some history about the band.
Mike and I started the band probably about 5 years ago, and we put out our first full-length CD almost 2 years ago called Through the Grip of Tyrants. And about a year or so into that album's release, our original lead singer, Eric Cashmore, had told us he had lymphatic cancer. And we played for a while, and we didn't make it public until it became so detrimental to his health that he couldn't continue on with the band. And we decided that we would continue on, and we got our good friend Dom Vito to join the band and sing for us. And most recently, within the last probably 3-4 months,
It's actually March.
Pushing 6.
6. So about 6 months ago, we got this guy over here, Mr. Grant Collins. Williams.
He dropped the bomb. He dropped the bomb.
Illuminati!
We're getting sued. Thanks, Will.
Grant Williams on bass, and we just recently started working on our second record, and we started recording for that, and we decided to put out a 4-song EP to kind of let everyone know the direction that we're going in now, what we sound like with Dom, what we sound like with Grant, and kind of introduce this slightly newer sound to everybody.
Right. And it is definitely a newer sound. Different direction, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
We kind of think we're like, I try to tell people, being in a band is kind of like, planting like a tree. Like, it takes a lot of work and harvesting and protection to grow that tree until it finally has fruit. And that's the kind of same way with making a band and making a sound, is you want to still grow that tree and have branches and extensions from it, but you don't want to plant a whole new tree. When people come to that tree for apples and you get a lemon, you're going to be pissed. So, you come in and, we worked really hard to establish our sound, and we wanted it to grow, but we didn't want someone coming to us, thinking they were going to get a Behind the Gray song and get something completely different.
Right.
So we try to, find what our niche was, and then stick to that, and then kind of grow a little bit more and then make it bigger sonically.
Right. Well, just from what I hear, it's still Behind the Gray. I mean, it has, you hit the nail on the head when you said niche. You guys got that niche sound. You have your own signature sound. So, because I spin your tunes all the time, I hear it. So it is Behind the Gray on adrenaline. So, and I guess Grant, that adrenaline, part of that adrenaline is credited to you, man, being one of the new guys. You brought a different flavor to the band.
Yeah, it is. Even just saying, hey, how long have you been in? Just that it was only 6. Because I've known these guys forever. We're, what, a decade?
Longer.
Yeah, it's just depressing. So,
you two are longer. I think we're about a decade.
Will and I met on MySpace. If so, what,
remember MySpace?
Yeah, for the kids, MySpace is what Facebook was. That's like dial-up Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how long
I
our
love this analogy.
56K.
that's how long our relationship has been. So it doesn't feel new, oddly enough. So it just feels like this natural progression. Like week 2, you're like, okay, these are my friends. We're making music. There's no real turnover adjustment for me, at least. I don't know about them.
Well, it was kind of cool. Like when Steve said he was going to be leaving the band, he told us while I was in the car with Dan, and I was driving him home and everything. And we had like kind of like a short list just on that like half-hour drive to his house of like, you know, who would we want in the band, who's available, and everything. We had like 3 or 4 people we just thought off the top of our heads. And Dan's like, well, what about Grant? I'm like, dude, there's no way he's going to join this band. Number one, he's got a solo album. Like, he does all of his solo stuff.
Plug iTunes.
You know, and like from, you know, like his background, I've never, like, well, your first band ever was a death metal band. And then from there, you never really played metal
True, yeah.
after that. So, like, I don't know if he would dig it. And Dan said, well, just call him, tell him what's up, and ask him, because if he finds out later that we got somebody else and is like, well, why didn't you ask me? So I'm like, all right. So I got on the phone, you know, give him the lowdown, and he goes, well, let me think about it, but, you know, pretty much like a yes. And I was like, really? Like, you're sure? And it was cool because, like, I got my best friend in the band. So, like, again, we had this relationship, and, like, you knew Dan probably just as long as you knew me.
Yeah, just about.
So, you know, from there, you knew Mike for a while. The only, you know, wild card you had was Dom, and Dom gets along with everybody.
That was a month tops. It was like, I love you. You're my brother now.
So, you know, I gotta say, I was kind of questioning the same thing. Is he, you know, would he go for joining your band? Like when you guys first came over and introduced Grant on the show, because I seen Grant perform at the benefit for you guys doing your solo stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
okay.
You know, I mean, you're doing all this crazy ass tap shit. Like, holy shit, look at this dude, right?
iTunes, plug.
Right? So I was thinking the same, you know, like, dude, wow, no, it's killer, man, it's killer.
Well, we kind of like told him, like, you know, we are a metal band, like we do have a sound, so we didn't say like what you wanted to do as far as like bass and everything. We just said, like, you know, really stick to the pocket, and this is what we do. And like for like maybe at the 2 or 3 practices, it was just kind of like him dumbing it down, and we're like, why don't you do more? He's like,
You told me not to.
I know. Well, what you're doing kind of sucks, because like his kryptonite is he can't just kind of be simple. Like, he has to do his ridiculous tap shit. So, like, when we wrote Treason and that intro part, like, he just taps the whole thing. And we're like, ba, 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 ba. I'm like, that is so awesome. So, like, it just became like, well, this is part of our sound now. So, like, we just have to just embrace it and say, like, well, this is it. And just take it on. So, anytime he dumbs it down, we're like, no, you do better. And then he just steals the pizza out of my mouth when he gets frustrated writing bass lines.
You just gotta let go of it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Just don't, you know, put him in like too many parts with breakdowns.
He and breakdowns don't get along.
True. Very true.
Okay.
We had an old band where every time the old band is actually, this is it. So you're interviewing the old band, which is what, you know, again, how far we go back. But it was the 3 of us in a, what would you even call us, a hardcore band?
No.
I don't know.
It was actually
I
like
just
a
showed up and
lighter-esque version of this, because I think at some point we did kind of steal riffs
from it?
initially,
Yeah.
like first
and then they
batch.
got like cannibalized. And
Yeah, anytime
gone.
like a breakdown would happen where the tab was just Cheerios, I would just put something ridiculous and unnecessary on the bass. Just, yeah, we're going to run like a whole major scale up the entire fretboard during this breakdown because I hate breakdowns.
But it works too. But we try and like make our sound bigger with every song and everything. So like we have a lot of like, I think everyone can hear it now, a lot of programming and synths and keys. And, you know, the bass line does not stick to what's going on with the guitars and anything. Dan and I both never play the same thing at the same time. So we're always just either playing harmonies off each other. So, like, there's such a huge sonic landscape that kind of goes on that we kind of welcome it. I think it makes us a little bit different too. It separates us, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and again, like I said, because I spin your tunes so often, I can hear it. I know you guys got that niche that oh, that's Behind the Gray. You got that sound. You got it.
Nice.
I mean, you built upon it with these new tunes, but you got it. You got a signature sound, man.
Cool, man. Thank you.
So, and that now in this day and age of music, where every other band sounds the same, that's that's something hard to achieve, but you guys did it.
Well, that was what our management had told us. He's like, you have so many bands out there. If I can take like 10 bands, put them on a CD player for a bunch of strangers, like yours would stand out, or you would be like a little bit left of center, a little bit left field, and everything else. I think once someone else had told us that, it stuck into the writing process. So we're like, how do we be a little bit different? How do we like push this somewhere else? You know what I mean? So that's kind of been in the back of our minds while we were writing the new record. Is let's do something that's not necessarily a Behind the Gray thing. Like our song Reverence is the most and least Behind the Gray song at the same time, because there's just so many differences, and like the bridge just comes out of nowhere. Like it's just, there's a whole lot of samples in there. Like there's so many different things that happened in that song that necessarily we wouldn't have done if we were recording for Tyrants,
Right.
So much change in that song.
Yeah, that was our producer's fault.
So, how does this new CD compare to Tyrants, man?
General consensus from what other people have told me, at least, is it's heavier. It's definitely more aggressive. But I think vocally, and the way Dom writes the lyrics, you have this like big sense of positivity. Like he's a very like upbeat kind of person. He really tries to be like that person who doesn't get down about things or let things beat him, and that kind of comes out in his writing. And I think just the way he approaches songwriting makes it, the world through his eyes, and like his life experiences come out, and you just kind of get this more up tempo, up vibe from it. So it comes across a little bit more aggressive, but it doesn't have it in a negative light.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, you mentioned Reverence. You guys want to play that now?
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right, okay. Well, tell us about the tune.
The song has a fairly interesting story. I was going through a lot of like personal shit at the time when I started writing the music to it, and I came home and I have like a little home recording setup I do, and I came home and I started writing this really down, depressing song, and I was just really in a rough place at the time, and I started what is that soft bridge was intentionally what I wanted the song to be, was this real light, almost like, not like necessarily like a ballad, but a real slow song. And it's kind of out of nowhere, I started getting mad at myself for feeling this way, and I started writing all these other heavier parts. And I just had like these 3 or 4 sections, and I recorded them, and I sent them to him, and he's like, I dig it. And we got in the garage together, and we just wrote what essentially was the structure for Reverence. But the song was 6.5 minutes.
Wow.
It was a really long song, and it was this, I decided I was going to make it this kind of like epic song where it had like 2 or 3 different bridges, and it was going to have like I was going to have all these different lyrical parts to it. Me and him made a demo of it. We sent it to Dom, and he's like, I love this, but I have no clue what to do with it vocally. I have just no idea. I was like, all right, well, let me get back to you. So I dumped everything into my laptop, and I just started cutting it up, and I just would make sections and go, okay, where's all the fat? Where's all the stuff that could kind of go? And I cut all that up, and I sent it to Dan, and Dan wrote all the lead parts to it just kind of like on a whim. Like he just would play something like, that's it, that's the verse part, and then you go into the next part, I'm like, that's it, that's the chorus section, and we just kind of pieced it all together. I sent it back to Dom, and Dom wrote the lyrics in like maybe a couple of days, and we were like, the song was still probably around like the 4.5-5 minute mark, and I was like, there's no way this is going to make the album. This is going to be like a B-side at best. We went in to do pre-production, and we were all in the live room. We're like, all right, and the song was still fairly new. We started jamming it. Our producer, Tom, he's like, that's the song. This is the jam. And he gets up from behind the booth, runs into the live room with us. He's like, all right, this is what you're going to do in the verse. All right, this is how we're going to do in the chorus. All right, we're going to take this section, we're going to add this little open section here. And he just kind of starts like guiding the song. And when we started like just seeing what his vision of it was, and then the song just kind of came to life. And it became, you know, when we sent it off to management, he was like, this could be the single.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow,
we were
that's
like,
cool.
all right, like the song that you didn't think was going to make an album at all ended up being like one of the strongest ones and possibly a single.
The 6-minute epic.
Yeah.
What it turned into.
Yeah, and I think it's probably like maybe like 4 minutes, something like that now.
413.
413? Yeah. So like, you know, it's gotten cut up and moved, like all for the better. You know, like it was just like a long work in progress.
Very good. All right, gang, well, check it out. This is Reverence from Behind the Gray, and we'll be right back.
Destruction, breaks the memory for
right, gang. All right, we're back with 3/5 of Behind the Gray. Killer tune, man. Reverence, unbelievable.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much.
So that was my first time hearing it.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So that was like hot off the email press there. Unbelievable.
Amen.
Now we were talking a little bit off air. I was asking you, or I guess about the group effort. And it's a question I usually ask the band, but and I was saying, it's cool. It's so cool that it is a group effort with you guys, and in my opinion, it makes the band a stronger unit or a tighter unit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their input.
Yeah,
and
everyone gets a voice.
Yeah,
it's great, and like it's more a group effort now than it ever was. And it wasn't like we had the songwriting dictator back in like our first album or anything like that, but it was just kind of like our process where Mike and I would write 90% of the music, and we would just come in and like write a lot of the riffs and structure the song, and come in with lead ideas, and then like show the lead ideas to Dan or our original guitar player Mumley at the time, and say like, this is where we want to go, this is what you're gonna play, and then like Eric just wrote vocal melodies and lyrics. That's all he did. So like it was just everyone kind of had their role. Now like all those lines have been blurred so hard. So like our singer Dom is also a drummer and a guitar player and a bass player, and I'm sure he plays like kazoo or some other sense too.
Now he does.
But like he came in like after he kind of figured out like what our sound was and the things we liked to do and what we were going for. He would send like, I had this riff idea, and he'd bring in like guitar ideas, and he would write drum parts to it too. So like, this is really good, and let's just make it like a Behind the Gray sound. So Mike and I would take what he did and add like our flavor to it, and then Dan would write completely different lead lines to it, and we would work together. And even with vocals while we were recording the album, there was a couple times where we're like, what do you think of like using these lyrics or these lines instead? And he's like super open to change and working on things. And the song you just listened to, the whole heavy bridge section, Dom came up with it like on the fly, like kind of like in that moment kind of situation, because it felt a little empty. And he comes out and he's like, well, why don't you go sing it? And I'm like, all right. So like I went in and I did all the heavy vocals on the part, just because like he wanted like a different back and forth with it. So like he even writes things with other people in mind.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
like we go
That's
back.
cool.
There's a lot of like back and forth vocals between like me and him. So like we'll split verses now and things that we didn't do before in the last album.
That's cool. That's like hats off to you guys for being able to work together and not have the rock star ego, like I'm the singer, you're not, I'm the guitarist, you're not playing guitar.
Who's got work? Yeah, that's why Grant has his little princess chair, because he has that still. I am the bassist.
Foundation of the band.
I mean, for the
I am the thunder.
Look how rock solid my princess chair is. I don't know why I'm that accenting princess. We're all ill.
Yeah, we're all mentally ill.
Yeah.
You gotta have some kind of mental illness to do this.
I've been talking about that for a while. Like, I don't know if it's just like an instability that comes with like, musicianship or good musicianship. I'm like, if you're not just fucked up, like, I feel like you're not writing anything good.
No, but I mean, like, all the work and energy and everything you guys did, and then you play a show for gas money. So,
Yeah.
It does sound crazy when you put it
there goes 5 years of my life.
Sorry, Mike.
It's all good.
I wouldn't give it up, man. I still,
No,
even if it's an
that's
empty
it.
room, man, I
That's-
still have that craving to play live and to create something and
It's-
to get your shit out on tape or CD or whatever the fuck you want to call it now.
And that's what it's, I mean, that's the love of the music. I hate to sound corny and say it's a labor of love, but it's a labor of love, man.
Absolutely.
Fuck, what I do, there's no money in internet radio either, so
Right on. You just do it because you love it.
it's all good, man. It's all good. So, it's a whole new vibe now. Whole new. I mean, like, where do you guys see the new direction with the band going?
I think the 4-song EP, the Treason EP, is going to give everyone a really good taste of what we're going for, and they're going to kind of get the vibe that, you know, we are trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and we're trying to be like experiment with our sound and be a little bit more progressive with it. I think they're going to be very surprised when they hear the other tracks, because we still have songs that are significantly heavier, and we have songs that are significantly lighter. So on this new album, we've written not only the lightest song we've ever written, we've also written the heaviest song we've ever written, and like this nice medium ground in between. So, you know, I think, I don't think anything about what other people think about it. Like, I don't know how to write things that I feel, and that's how we write, is like we write off of emotion, and if it feels good and it feels right and it's what, you know, we're going through at the moment, then, you know, that's all we can do is be honest with it.
I mean, if you're really that worried about what other people think while you're writing this stuff, you probably shouldn't do it.
Exactly.
I mean, no matter you can make it, and you're still gonna get shit on every single day. Like, we write what we write because that's what we want to do, not because someone's like, "Oh, you should write this type of song." Because let's be honest, I might hate that song. Right. You know, there's no guarantee of anything. You're not going to please everybody, no matter what you put out. So write what you love and be happy and enjoy
and hopefully that like enthusiasm for what you've created crosses over to other people, and they're enthusiastic about it. Because if we're not excited about what we're playing, then there's no point.
You know, and I always say that, you know, I always talk about like the fakeness with bands, and, you know, how they fake it, or they're, you know, just writing with the mindset of radio airplay. Yeah. Or, you know, and
yeah.
but I mean, that shows through. Like, you know, the audience, I mean, the novelty wears off real quick, and the fakeness shines through. I mean, but you guys are genuine. You know, you're the real deal, and, and it shows, man.
Thank you.
So, you got the new direction. You're working on a new CD now.
Yeah.
This is the EP, or now you're working on an LP, man. So
we have, what, 12, 14 songs, something like that?
I lose track.
Yeah.
Because some, they come and go. Sometimes, like, I'll forget one exists, and then someone will, hey, let's play the 4th song. You're like, right. And then you have to teach yourself real quick.
So we probably have, like, another 12 or 14 songs written, and, you know, obviously not all of them are going to make the album, because we have this, we don't get, like, attached to things very well. So, like, we'll write songs, and, like, initially when we went in to write the album, I think we went in with, like, 11 songs, and we ended up with 8. And then from there, you know, we start reworking, and if it doesn't, like, stand out to us, and it doesn't just grab your attention, you absolutely love it, and in my opinion, it shouldn't exist, because it's not the best you can make, and I don't think people care about your second best. So, like, let's make the best you can possibly make on every song.
You know, what's the old saying? You're only as good as your last CD.
Yeah.
You know?
That was fairly scary, like, when we had first started writing new material, was, you know, we have a CD that I guess you want to call it successful. It was a well-reviewed first album. And then we have a major lineup change. And that's that scary moment of, like, can we redo this? Can we make another good album? And then, you know, we talk to management, and they're kind of like, if you can make Tyrants Part 2, you guys are good. I'm like, oh, just that, huh? You know, it only took just do that thing
no
you
pressure.
did again. You did a thing that took you 3 years to write, basically, since you, like, the inception of the band. Can you do that again? Like, yeah.
Yes.
But, like, you know, you kind of get a couple of songs under your belt, and, like, it's like the pressure releases, and you're like, okay, you're fine. You're just, and the first song we wrote was Dom, was Inner Light, and, like, the first time he came with those vocals, I'm like, we're fine. We're good. And, like, you just heard, like, what he wanted to do and his direction and his lyrics and everything, and we were like, this is where we're going, and we just put the blinders on at that point and went streamed straight forward and just went with it.
Cool. And again, there's no format or mold you're trying to follow. It's just whatever happens, whatever feels good. That's what you go with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be the mold, would be honesty. It's like they were saying earlier, if you try too hard to fit something, then you're kind of just being dishonest if you don't naturally go into it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I'll say you'll hear the difference, like the changes in styles, I guess, in certain aspects. As Will said, there are heavier songs than these 4 songs, and there are lighter songs. So you'll be able to tell just in that general variety from listening to the next.
I think too, like, there's a lot going on in the music industry and the music trends right now, and it's a cool thing because you can be a niche band. You can be a band that's like super heavy, like I'm a Sugar band or something like that. That all you do is metal, and it's the heaviest, most ungodly thing you've ever heard. And there's an audience for it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just that 1,000 people, 10,000 people that only want that, and it's great. And you're honest with yourself because that's all you want to create. And then there's other people that, like, they want something more melodic or something more progressive or something more. And there's all those little niches. And now with the internet and iTunes and Spotify, you can just go on Spotify and just add things to your playlist of all these different varieties or only one thing you want to listen to. So, like, you're not necessarily following a trend because there isn't one. There's not, like, a big band out now that everyone's like, well, everyone's trying to be Avenged Sevenfold or everyone's trying to be this. Like, I haven't really seen, like, there's only one Avenged Sevenfold, there's only, I can't even think, there's only one Nothing More, there's no people, it's not like back in, like, the early 2000s where it was like, okay, there's Korn and Biscuit and, like, all this shit, and then, like, all this other stuff comes around, or, like, okay, now you have a Stain, so then you get Cold, and you get all these other bands that, like, come around with it. So, like, you have all these bands that follow a trend. I don't think there is one anymore.
No, I don't think so. And I always talk about the internet with the bands. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's probably like one of the best tools you guys could have at your disposal for promoting yourselves. On the other hand, there's 10,000 other bands doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
hard to break through the noise.
Exactly.
And it was weird because we just did the Electric City Music Conference, and they had a seminar, and they had a lot of people from different management companies and booking agencies and everything. And our CD was coming out that Friday. So, we go to this, and we sit through all the seminars and the panels and everything. And I was so unaware of how big, like, Spotify is and, like, how big Apple Music is. They're like, we don't even care about CD sales anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't care about CD? They're like, we care about the Spotify plays. Whose playlist you're on? Is your song on the alternative playlist? Are you on the Revolt magazine playlist? Are you on that playlist?
Shit.
And I'm like, what about, like, the YouTube? Like, YouTube plays are great, but they care about Spotify, Apple Music, tangible shit like that.
Oh,
and like,
shit. See,
and, like,
I love having you here, Mike. Will. It's fucking, you're like an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to
I didn't even think about it when we ordered our CD. We, order 1,000 units or whatever, and we go to sell the CD, and people are like, I love your album. I'm like, cool, I got it right here, like $5 or whatever. And they go, oh, no, thanks. I'm like, you don't want the CD? Like, oh, no, I don't have a CD player in my car. I'm like, what?
They're
like,
lying. I don't believe that.
New cars don't come with any CD players. New cars don't even have CD players. So if you buy a car that's older than, like, 2012 or something like that, it doesn't have a CD player.
Unless you have it specifically put in.
Like, that's an added thing you have to ask for.
That's on the right column?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
So, like, people just only listen to music through their phone that connects to their radios via Bluetooth.
Or aux cable.
Or an aux cable or something like that. Or when you're at home, you're on internet radio or satellite radio and stuff like that. So you're on, like, whatever that station is. So, like, the idea of, us selling 1,000 units is like, well, okay. I'm like, what? Like, it blows my mind.
Wow.
Wow.
It's
It's crazy.
I would have never thought. Again, I got to get you on the show just to talk about this shit, because so many people could learn from what you know, man.
I'm always down to
always learning something from you.
I'm always down to like talk music business, and like I'm still learning, and like even like after like the the release of this album, and talking with our manager and talking with other management companies and like other promotion companies and stuff. There's so much to learn, and there's 100 different ways to skin a cat. So I found there's no wrong way. If it works for your band, it's awesome. Keep working for it. But if it doesn't work for you, well, try something different.
Right.
Like try what these guys are doing, or try what somebody else. Don't be afraid to steal an idea either. So if the band's like, every Tuesday we're going to do a giveaway and we're going to call it Tag Tuesday, be like, all right, we're doing Tag Thursday. and don't be afraid, like you got to get your music out there. You got to keep your fans interested, and, just don't be afraid to steal an idea every once in a while.
Exactly.
I won't get offended if you steal mine. I'd encourage you.
For promotion wise, don't steal music.
Yeah, literal Mike.
Please don't steal our music. It's really expensive to make. It took a long time.
Disclaimer.
At our stage, like we don't even care. Like if a song leaks and it goes to a torrent site, we're like, awesome, 30,000 more plays. Like if it's a signed band's like, oh my god, our seat, like Lady Gaga gives a shit because her CD got fucking leaked. We don't give a shit. Like we're like, yes, more exposure, leak it.
Give me more plays. That's all I want.
Oh shit. Well, you guys get a lot of plays here, that's for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. That's another big thing too that we found out was just the power of podcasts. Like podcasts and internet radio has taken over terrestrial radio. It has gone, because like you said, you can say, I could be like, fuck this, and no one will say anything.
Blink an eye, right?
Yeah, no one's going to say anything. They're here to listen to a very specific type of music and a type of show, and that's what they're going to do, and that is more appealing. So I find myself listening to more music podcasts and things like that than I don't listen to the radio anymore. I think I listen to the radio on the way here for like 10 minutes before
You have to.
Yeah. I think my iPod kind of like shit out on me, so I had to listen to the radio. Mm-hmm. But like I really enjoyed listening to podcasts and streaming services and stuff like that way more than radio. So you don't even need radio anymore.
Right, mm-hmm. Right, you don't.
I'm like, oh wow, I have a 3.5 minute single, and then like I'll use it because everyone's going to hate it. But Nickelback comes out with a 5.5 minute single tuned all the way down with 2 guitar solos in it, and it goes #1 just because it didn't have mainstream radio play. Everyone was streaming it because they're like, this is what we want. We wanted like this heavy Nickelback sound. We wanted this more aggressive sound. So they were able to do what they wanted and be creative and not be like, we need to write the single and do shit like that. So like it works out for everybody.
Right, and it's such a niche or such a custom listening experience. Like my show, for example, all unsigned independent metal. I mean, that's Well,
I think every time we come here, I have like my phone out and I'm like, Bill, what was that? So like the last 3 bands you played, the band from Seattle, Toy Call God, and the Beaver one.
Thunder Beaver.
And Thunder Beaver. So I'm like, all right, I gotta go home and look those guys up, and I'll do the same thing. Like I'll go home and check out their Spotify and everything.
But that's it. But I know, like people that are country fans, they're not going to tune in.
Yeah.
But it's people that are interested in specifically unsigned independent metal. So I mean, it's but it goes to what you were saying. It's a niche audience.
It's better. I think it's better to play to the people that want to hear it than try and force it down to people and convince them to like it. Like someone's like, oh, I don't really listen to that. Well, you may like this, you may like it. And like, no, like if someone, I know likes Deftones or I know likes Sevendust, I'm going to be like, you should listen to our stuff. You will probably enjoy it. It's better to, find that than it is to find someone who's like, well, I listen to Toby Keith and Taylor Swift. I'm like, well, you may like this song, but you probably won't.
Chris twangy as fuck.
You're twangy as fuck.
I agree.
Right. Now, and it's weird because the show that we just did Saturday, there was a couple girls at work. They were like, "Well, you're going to be there. We'll be there." And I'm like, they listen to rap and hip hop. I'm like,
Right.
It's not your scene. You're not going
You're not
to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Don't come out just because I'm there.
Come out if you want to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Like for our shows too, like you were saying, like we kind of, when we play our hometown, we switch it up a lot. The last time we played O'Leary's, and it was just straight metal. We played with Hervesa, Falling from Eden, and Dreamers Like Us, and it was just baller metal all the way out, balls to the wall. This time around, we're going like more prog rock, so like more like experimental math metal kind of stuff. So we have 100,000 from New Jersey, they're coming in, and then Ion Attraction, who they just have no genre. They're just whatever they want to be. And then Dreamers Like Us. So we try and switch up the genre of our show and how we put a bill together every time we play our own show. So we're not making it stale, keeping it fresh for everyone.
Right.
A new niche every time.
Right. Well, that's cool. So let's play another song. I got Inner Light on deck. Tell us about the tune.
It was the first song. I was just making sure someone didn't want to say anything else. It was the first song we wrote when Dom had joined the band, and it was probably one of my favorite songs to begin with, and it was just, I think it's kind of like that quintessential Behind the Gray song. That's, if you could wrap up our sound in a song, it would be that, and that's okay, this is our formula. This is where we are as a band. So it's got a killer solo in it. So awesome. The solo was awesome.
He didn't write it.
I didn't write the solo, but it's awesome. It took Dan 20 hours, but he got it.
All right, guys, check it out. This is Behind the Gray with Inner Light. We'll be right back. right, gang, we're back with the guys from behind the gray, Grant, Will, and Mike. Guys, how's it going?
Wonderful.
Good.
Stupendous.
Another killer tune. Again, that's another one I'm hearing for the first time. I'm digging it.
Sweet, man.
So because I play you guys so often, I can hear it's Behind the Gray, but Behind the Gray plus.
Cool. You like the plus. Yeah, if you said like Behind the Gray minus, I'm like, we failed.
But that's cool. So, I guess getting back to the whole Spotify, iTunes things, is this something you think you would need a label for? Would it help or hurt?
From everything I've read and from everything that is going on right now, and just from observations, what is happening most recently, it's been going on for the last 10 years, but right now it's the biggest it's ever been, is there is a split in the major label world. The labels are dividing in half, and independent labels are now more substantial and more like on the rise, because digital music allows an artist to have complete control. I can make a song, I can release a song, I can put the song out the way I want to put it out. It can be 12 minutes or it can be 2 minutes. It doesn't really matter. I have the ability to record it myself. I have the ability to release it myself. The problem is, when I say I'm going to release it, no one knows I'm releasing it. It's in the clutter. It's in the shelf of 1,000, 10,000, 1 million other people that have the same idea and are just as good or better than myself or any of these other artists. What the labels are doing...
I don't believe that.
What essentially labels are doing is they are more marketing. They're great at cutting you through the noise. They can take an artist and their sound that's already developed and already set up. They already probably have a fan base established, and they can say, I can put them into these playlists. I can market them on the front page of iTunes. I can put them into these magazines where people will accept them and put them out there through all that noise so they get there first. So do you need a label? No. The label is going to... They're going to want a cut of everything. They're going to want a piece of your iTunes sale. They're going to piece of your... they're going to piece of your merch. They're going to piece of your publishing. They're going to piece of everything. Just as like a payback, because they're pushing you through the noise. So yes, there is this give and take. So do you necessarily need a label? No. Can you make those contacts and do all those things yourself? Absolutely. A label makes it significantly easier. It lets you focus on writing, creating, releasing things, rather than I wrote something, now I have to figure out how I'm going to release it. Now I got to make 500 phone calls. I got to send 600 emails, and do all this stuff to get it out there. So it's in the forefront, or at least in the mix of all these other artists. So.
All right. Well, okay. See, again, I got to have you on here. I learned so much from you, man.
I just read an article yesterday or today that said the nail in the coffin for the industry split came when they signed that girl, rapper
the
girl.
Bad Barbie or whatever her name is.
She was the
Catch Me?
Yeah, the Catch Me Outside girl. Yeah, she was on there because she has no musical talent. She's not even a good rapper at all, even for like hip hop or anything. And I'm 90% sure she also didn't write anything.
There's no way.
So what's happening is the label looks at this and goes, wow, this person has 4 million YouTube plays, in the millions. And they go, I can invest money into this because there's already an established audience, there's already established people here, and we can put out, even if it's garbage, people are going to listen to it just because they're going to be curious. Yep. They're going to be like, is this terrible? This is terrible, and they may never listen to it again. Or they'll say, you have to listen to this. This is so bad. And it plays it again. And they go through this like cycle. So now labels are looking at things as, can I sell it? Rather than, I'm going to sign tangible talent that has like a career. Like, I can sign these guys, and this first album may do, 5,000-6,000 copies, but next album will do 15,000 copies because they'll grow. We can do things like that.
They're basically looking at short-term investments rather than long-term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they can put something out with her now, and she can have 4 million views and she can have 10 million followers. Okay, she posts one song up, and that's all of that. They're making bank right off that.
They'll all react.
She
because they said like, yes, they have 4 million views, but will 4 million people buy that song for $1? Probably not. So he's like, even if you cut it in a quarter, let's say 1 million people buy it, they're going to get half, 60% of that.
Because
The label?
The label.
Yeah.
So the label will take that. They're like, no one will come out to a Catch Me Outside girl show. Like, no one's going to go see this girl in concert.
Right.
But if you make a T-shirt that has, like, a novelty to it, like, yeah, maybe we'll sell 800,000 shirts or something like that. Label's going to get a cut of that, too. So once that's all washed up and done, they're like, okay, we're done with you. We'll move on to the next trend, move on to whatever the next thing is.
Flavor of the month.
Exactly. They really don't give a shit. The independent labels, on the other hand, are more the long term because they have the ability to release your music nationally, digitally, worldwide, but they're more invested in you being long term because they'll make more money in the long term. Your steady revenue. So, like, you know, okay, maybe every year you only sell 20,000 CDs or 10,000 units or whatever it is you sell, but every year you're going to do that.
Right.
And every year that's a cut of their
and
money.
The thing with the indie labels is they're in the same boat you guys are in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're in. You know, they want to get their name out just as much as you guys want to get your name out. So if they're taking care of you, and other bands see that, they're going to be interested in wanting to hop on that label.
Yeah. I just learned a thing that managers do is essentially if they have an artist that they're managing or developing and the major label wants to sign them or another agency wants to buy them, they say it's really good to always have your name attached to a successful artist. So they'll put in the artist's contract, if you get signed and, you know, you go to a major label or something like that, I can always say, you know, I brought you to them. And I can take like a piece of your name and I can attach it with my management company or my label or my indie label or whatever it may be to always, like you said, bring all these like, oh, this guy worked with Breaking Benjamin. He must be great. He did this for them. So like that name is always relevant. Right. It's always attached. So like it's called a sunset clause. So when you're done with this manager and this label and you've outgrown them, that baby label, that baby manager will still be able to be attached to you. Right. So they can always say, like, oh, you know, I'm just the guy that discovered them or managed them or moved them or did whatever.
Right. Well, I guess, and that's not a bad thing, I guess.
No, absolutely not, because they got to do their business the same way we got to do our business. Because, you know, hypothetically, it was us. Like, our manager is going to want a cut of our advance, you know, whatever we get from a major label. They're going to want a cut of all that stuff. And they're going to have other artists, you know, come to them or have, like, their status go up. They want to be like, I want to work with better artists. I want to work with better people. So, you know, having a band that becomes successful and reputable is definitely going to help them.
Right, right. You know, and I'm thinking like three good examples of indie labels growing up. Roadrunner.
Absolutely.
Metal Blade. Napalm.
Napalm is huge.
Yeah.
And, like, Napalm is actually kind of like... They're bigger overseas. Like their distribution is huge, and it was really weird because I was, I'm a nerd, so I just read articles all day about the music industry. And Crowbot, who is from Pottsville, but they're like blues metal, like blues rock. Like they put on a metal show, but they're significantly like blues, and they're the most ridiculous live show you'll ever see. They signed with Napalm overseas for their distribution, so like this kind of bluesy funk rock band is signing to a metal label like that, and you know how successful they are overseas and everything like that. Napalm is smart enough to say, yeah, of course, come with us. Like they're not going to turn them away. Like why turn away great business?
Right. Yeah. Wow, man. So, guys, what shows you got coming up now? What are you pushing the new tunes?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're playing the new stuff out, and next Saturday we are at the V Spot in Scranton with Ion Attraction, 100,000, and Dreamers Like Us. We're going to be playing all the songs from Treason. We'll be playing even more new stuff from our upcoming full length, so we'll have even more new songs. and we'll probably throw in a couple of like our favorite cover songs that we'll throw in there just to make it special, make it cool.
Cool. Now, are they done with the renovations down there?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And
It's
it is
phenomenal.
It's amazing.
It's next level.
It's next level shit, man.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, the light show in there is insane. Like, there's just fog machines that are like sequenced and timed on the front of the stage. There's like 3 or 4 fog machines just on the stage.
Wow.
And like they have the intelligent lights. And Matt Kester runs the sound in front of House Terror, and it sounds incredible.
So they got house PA.
House, yeah,
dude.
and it sounds insane. And like the whole new expansion where they built like the game room and everything now,
Right.
is great. Like everyone can hang and chill, and it's Vinny and Frank just do such an incredible job there. They just have their shit together, and they're definitely on some next level shit now, like with the expansion.
That's cool, man. That's good, and you know, congratulations to those guys, man. You know,
Yeah, totally. They worked really hard.
they're cool dudes.
Yeah.
You know, and that they are. You know,
My favorite conversations ever were with Vinny Archer on the
Yes.
phone. Ever. They're so incredible. And like he's such a big metalhead too.
Yeah.
So like having metal conversations with him is incredible. I absolutely love him. He's such a good guy.
that's great. And so, what other shows you got going on in?
Then we'll be in Martinsburg, West Virginia at a place called O'Connelly's Live. It's going to be a zombie pre-Halloween party on the 21st. And then we'll be playing a benefit concert for Making Music Matter for Kids on Sunday the 31st? 29th, I'm sorry. The 29th. And it's a really great foundation that our friend Lance runs where he teaches all these kids music and the instruments and everything, but then he puts on live concerts for them. And they can come out with full stage and a full gear and play like AC/DC tunes and Rob Zombie songs and
that's
really
cool.
like rock out and everything. And then at the end of the night, he'll have a couple bands for the adults and everything like that. But he does a really great thing with showing kids what it is to be a musician and to play shows and love to play live.
That's cool. That's cool. And I gotta say, locally, whenever there's a benefit, you guys are almost always on the bill. You guys play a lot of benefits around here, right?
Yeah. It's hard because we're a small town too. Scranton's, everybody knows everybody. So
Right.
anytime there is a benefit, it's like, oh, I went to high school with that person, or that's related, to Mike's family, or this person knows Grant and they were friends at one time or whatever. So, it's that moral obligation of like all these people have done so much for us. We absolutely have to, go do this for them in their time of need. They need money or help or support or just even the fact that a benefit concert shows people that they give a shit about you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're just showing up and showing your face,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that's all you need to do, just show your face, you know.
Absolutely.
We've been there,
Yeah.
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 I forget who I was telling. Maybe we were in another interview. I don't remember. But when we got in our accident and everything, and like most of our gear was trashed and our trailer was trashed and everything. If you guys and Carol and Ken didn't throw on that benefit concert to us, it probably would have been the end of the band because we invested our entire lives into our music equipment, into buying a trailer that we didn't pay off, and we wrecked it, and we had all this shit, and like we wanted to just do this as a career and to do it all the time. Like, well, we don't have the money now to do it, so the fact that you guys put a benefit concert on for us kept us going. Either that or we would have been down for years trying to replace all that shit.
Right. Well, and that's what it was about. I mean, helping. I mean, at the time, it was like, what the fuck are you thinking? You're throwing a benefit for a band?
Yeah.
Because usually, it's like a kid with cancer or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, I mean...
It was awesome. Like, our music community here is so strong and so tight, and it's such a
that
tight-knit
day,
group.
man, that day, it was fucking elbow to elbow there, man.
Well, I may be misquoting, but I want to say I'm 90% sure our benefit that we threw for Eric is probably the single most successful.
Second.
Second?
After the music conference this year.
Okay. It was the second most successful night. We had 330 people through the door at the V-Spot before their expansion for our benefit for Eric. And, you know, that was insane. That was the most packed that's ever been. It was every musician came out to sing a song, sing another artist's song, you know, to pay tribute to him and everything like that. So, I mean, that was insane.
Cool.
And we had, like, signed bands like Seven Dust, signed a donated guitar from Northeast Music Center, a signed PRS guitar, you know, signed by Seven Dust. Scooter, the lead singer of Cold, you know, called Eric and called him into like a FaceTime session with him. There was photos donated by Keith Burks from like Five Finger Death Punch, and like
there was a Five Finger had some signed stuff. Godsmack, From Ashes to New, Cold Chamber. We had stuff from
we had people were just sending us boxes full of stuff.
So the James Parra, the bassist for the band, or Corners of Sanctuary, I help manage. He won the bass that you donated, Grant.
That's right.
Yeah. And the next night they had a show with Saxon, and he had the guys from Saxon sign that bass.
Yeah,
so
that's the Squire Natural 5-string.
Yeah.
The jazz, I remember that.
And he bought one ticket, so that fucker should be
Son
playing
of a bitch.
Powerball. You know?
I remember the guy that won the PRS guitar drove all the way in from York.
Yeah, York.
Yeah, he drove in from York, and like he made a Facebook post. I think that day he's like, "I have 2 tickets to the benefit concert. I have a free ride and a free hotel for anybody who wants to come with me." And he just loaded up people and came down. And I think he was maybe talking to you or Dan or somebody, and he's like, "I want that PRS guitar."
It was me.
It was you. He's like, that was all he wanted. I think he probably put in like every ticket for it. And I called off the raffles, and when I said his name, I just saw the arms go up, and I just heard him, and he just beeline, like just elbowing people through the sea of people. Like he didn't even go side stage; he walked right up on the front through the monitors and everything, and he just hugged me. He's like, "Are you serious? Are you messing with me?" I'm like, "No, dude. It says your name on the ticket, dude." Cool.
It's
he takes pictures of it all the time.
It's hanging in his basement on his wall. Like
like honestly, he's such a cool dude, and like I'm so happy he won that.
That's cool.
No one better deserved to win it.
That's really cool. That's, you know, and again, that's what it's all about, man. Just, you know, making people feel good.
Yeah.
You know, if people walk away feeling good about what you guys do, what more could you ask for?
It's weird to get like compliments and stuff like that, because music is kind of selfish. Because like we write music to you know, get our shit out into like, you know, something we want to do, and then when someone connects with it, or someone looks at us and says like, "Oh, I want to do that," it's a weird compliment, at least for me to receive, to be like, "Oh, you know, you inspire us to do this," and I go, thank you. Like I just did something that I loved and I enjoy, so like I'm glad it helps other people and inspires other people too.
Cool. Yeah. And again, that's what it's all about, man. That's because again, without, I mean, you do what you do because you love it, but you know, without that fan base, you're nothing, right?
Well, we always use the phrase, "Without you, we won't survive," like at all. Because of you, we survive.
Oh, breathe.
Yeah. But we say that for everything. It's such a perfect phrase to describe like our relationship with our fans.
And you know, and that was cool. Now, the story about "Breathe." It's my favorite song from you guys. But you had a contest.
Yeah, we wrote the song like all the way through. We didn't have a title for it, and we knew it was going to be a single. So we went in. I recorded it, and we couldn't come up with a title. So I'm pretty sure we posted the lyrics.
Yeah, we posted the lyrics, and we basically just made it like a you know, you come up with the title, and you'll win a CD, you know, a big prize pack, and a bunch of people sent.
There was a lot of different, you know, titles and stuff going around, but the one that stuck out was our friend Caitlin put in "Learning to Breathe," and it just as soon as like it rolled off your tongue, you're like, yeah, that's it. And then, you know, she's come to a bunch of shows. She's always around.
Actually, funny enough, at our CD release show, we did a snare drum raffle, and she won that too.
Oh, wow.
She's ridiculous when it comes to winning stuff from us.
Get the Corners of Sanctuary guys' luck. I need her to buy me some lottery tickets.
Right. Well, you mind if I play it now?
Yeah.
Because it's my favorite song from you guys. I love this tune.
Go for it, man.
I
Absolutely.
play it often. I do.
Sweet, man.
I play it for me, and if anybody else likes it, that's cool, man.
Right on.
It's always
All right,
appreciated.
gang, check it out. Behind the Gray, Learning to Breathe. We'll be right back.
Taken by the way you scream the words to me. You came as I was losing my mind. It's hard to find a way when I'm choking on my own line. But you push me along to survive. By the way I throw myself away, lost the pieces I need. It's hard to find a cure to this sickness so I don't die. But you push me to try. And I'm tired of losing sleep, cracked and broken heart. Show me how to breathe again. So torn apart, now I can breathe again. You stop the rainfall and never let me hit the ground.
All right, gang, we're back with. It's all good. It's all good. I was talking. I don't
That's
think anybody heard.
Well, now we're drawing attention.
I've already
to it.
dropped Grant's real name today.
Whoa!
Lawsuit pending.
So we're back with Grant, Will, Mike, Behind the Gray. We just played my favorite song from you guys. I love that tune, dudes.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
it.
you so much.
That's you know, it's like a staple on the show. It really is. And a lot of the songs, you know, are submitted to me, and I play them, you know, or people request. But there's just a couple that I play for me, and that's one of them. So
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So usually, if you guys see your name tagged, it's usually
That song.
yeah, it's usually that song.
Right on.
I see it every time you
But-
tag it.
Yeah, but now I got new tunes to.
You got 4 new ones.
Yeah, so
There you go, man.
a lot of double shots coming up.
Nice.
Guys, so what else is going on, man, in the world of Behind the Gray?
Just, writing and getting ready for the full length. We're doing like all of our regional stuff where we play, Harrisburg, Maryland, Virginia. We call it the Circle. We kind of just go in this little tri-quad state area, New Jersey, New York, stuff like that. We're obviously looking to tour and everything. If everything lines up and the right opportunity comes, we're going to jump all over it. But that a lot of times that stuff comes out of our hands. That's booking agencies and management and
Venues.
and all that stuff. Yeah. So that kind of puts a damper on it. We just try and put on the blinders and plow forward. And we're really excited about the new music and getting it out to people, and performing the songs live is refreshing, because we've been playing the Tyrant stuff almost in sequential order for 2 years, 3 years.
Some of those songs we've been playing for 5 years.
Yeah, some of those songs Crack Inside and Perfect Storm and Curtain Call were the first songs we wrote as a band. So those songs have been around forever. So it's so much muscle memory, and it's there. But it's nice to play new songs and spice up the set. People are like, oh, this is where they're going to play Learning to Breathe. They're like, and we're not. We're going to play this song instead, and then we'll put Learning to Breathe somewhere else, sucker. So it's nice to spice up the set a lot.
That's cool. So you got a date to go back in the studio for the new stuff?
Nothing's set in stone yet, but it's probably going to be during the winter. Hopefully before the new year, before January. We have some new songs that got to get sent out, and the guy that does all of our programming, Kurt Wobenhurst, we've been working a lot more with him and the direction that we want to go and everything. So some of the new stuff is way more involved, and we're talking about like I said, we have some of the heaviest songs written, but also some of the lightest. So we're talking about bringing in some live cello players, some live strings to bring it all together. Talking with Kurt some more about making the programming a little bit more what we want. He's such an amazing, talented person. We just send him songs, and he writes everything, and then he sends it back, and it's glory. So we're like, well, we don't change anything.
Very few revisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was one time we said there was something we weren't necessarily stoked on, and our producer ended up changing it for us. So we're like, okay, we didn't even have to call Kurt. We just used whatever hoodoo we had in the studio to make it work.
Same studio?
Yeah, we're at Side B Studios in Dorrance. Tom Godin is producing, recording, engineering, mixing, doing all of his hocus pocus. So he'll be doing album number 2 as well.
That's Dorrance, not Torrance.
Yeah, if anyone buys the CD, there is a whoopsie. I misspelled. I don't think it was me. I think it was Crew.
Think Crew did it?
Yeah, well, he did all the artwork.
Okay, I'll ask Crew if I can take him out from under that bus you threw him under.
Maybe back it up.
Ow, thanks, Dick. But yeah, it says Torrance, Pennsylvania. But there's actually a funny story about the CD, because we were talking about getting it pressed and everything. And I'm always a pre-prep person, so if the CD's coming out, in September, it was done 4 months ago for me. So it's done. It's been working on artwork and everything, and we got the album cover. Yes, we got the promo photos and everything for the back. Yes, track listing in place. Awesome. So I go online to order CDs and upload your front cover, and done. Click. Upload your back cover. Cool. Done, and click. Upload your disc art. I didn't make any, and I completely forgot to make anything for the CD. So I had to call the guy that did our album artwork. I'm like, dude, can you just make anything for this CD? He's like, all right. And he sent it back, and it was this brilliant idea where the cover is an open eye staring down the barrel of a gun, and the disc is the eye, and the center part where the disc is cut out is where the pupil would be.
Oh.
So it was perfect, and I was like, yes. But there was a near catastrophe because I completely forgot to do album artwork.
Oh, God. The Spinal Tap moment.
Yeah, totally.
So let's speaking of which, have there been any Spinal Tap moments with this lineup?
I don't think there's been weird, goofy moments where like we're all on inner ears and someone will be on stage and just be like, I can't hear anything. I'm like, you didn't turn your pack on, or like you didn't.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's definitely me.
Or like someone doesn't plug a cable in all the way, so you hear like this terrible static noise. You're like, what is that? And you're chasing. We were at O'Leary's, and Dom turned on his wireless microphone, and there was nothing, like zero sound. I got zero signal. I'm checking all the cables. I'm in the back of the inner mixer. I'm like ready to rip it apart to just find out where this problem is. He fucking muted it on me. Like, right on the microphone, he hit the mute button, and I'm like, son of a bitch. So I guess that's a decent Spinal Tap moment. How about you?
Spinal Tap's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't watch, so I'm confused as to what a Spinal Tap moment is.
Spinal Tap moment is like that funny, awkward thing. Like in the movie, This Is Spinal Tap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come out and they have like, we brought tonight a recreation of actual Stonehenge, and they're lowering it from the rafters, and then you see this massive thing come from the rafters of Stonehenge, and by the time it gets down, it's this big. It's like the size of like a baseball, but like in the rafters,
it
looks
was
huge.
supposed to be like
Yeah,
full
it's full
size.
size. But
It
like
was
going
supposed to be, I think, 24 feet, and it turned out to be 24 inches.
inches. And then the same thing, like they came out in these like cocoons. Like they all get risen from the bottom of the stage in these cocoons, and then they don't open. So they're just in the cocoons, like as the song starts.
I'm sure I'm committing the mortal sin by not having seen Spinal Tap, and I apologize for that.
That's
Music World.
That's Turn It Up to 11 came from.
Oh,
Yeah. This one goes to 11.
context.
Why not just make them 10, but make them louder? These go to 11.
Well, Grant doesn't watch movies at all.
Yeah, it's not
the more you learn.
for real. So I'm gonna have to watch that, I guess. I can't think of anything like where I didn't measure Stonehenge correctly, but I can. I've hit Dom square in the head with my bass head, like the head of my bass. I jump up and I come down, and then I look over because I felt I hit something, and you see him rubbing the top of his head, but still singing through it like, yeah, this is great. And I'm trying to think if there's
I've
anything.
hit you a bunch of times.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're not really Spinal Tap moments. They're just violent.
You got in a fight with a merch stand.
I did that. That's true. Wow, yeah. My memory sucks, too.
Yeah, that's true.
What a terrible question for me to pick up. Grant, movie reference memories. Nope.
Our Spinal Tap moments are kind of far and few between because we're so like anally prepared. So like we're just anally prepared.
No, I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm picking it up. I'm on board.
Would be anally prepared?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's
Are you anally prepared?
are
24/7.
That's Grant's natural habitat.
This conversation's derailed.
You know, I swear to God,
I will say this is our Spinal Tap moment.
it always goes there. I don't know. We can have the most serious conversation, and it's not any band. It could be the most serious conversation, and then somehow it just goes off to left field someplace, and we start talking about assholes and
And dicks.
Well, yeah, usually it's Mike.
Usually. I'm innocent this time.
In Mike's defense, he is innocent this time.
Oh, I don't know if it's a Spinal Tap moment.
It's good, though.
But it is a pretty good moment. Wait, which one? The one that texted me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sitting at home. And my girlfriend and I are watching TV, and she gets up. She's like, I'm going to go to the kitchen and get something to eat. I'm like, all right, cool. And as soon as she gets up to leave, my phone goes off, and I get the notification that I get a picture text message. So I pick it up, and I slide open. It's probably a promoter sending me a flyer, or, somebody's doing something. And I open it, and it's a set of tits. Just a random. I'm like, and I look at the phone number, and it says like local area code and everything. So it's not like just like some sex bot. Like it's from the area. So I respond with, "You 200% have the absolute wrong number." And as soon as I hit send, my girlfriend walks in, and just me on my phone with a set of tits that is not hers, and I'm just, no, I don't know, it wasn't me, okay, alright, no, really. And I get a response, which is, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I thought this was Dom. And I'm like, no, like, if you want, like, I'll give you Dom's number, I'm sure he would appreciate your tits. And she replies back. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed and everything. I got your name off the Facebook page. Because it has my name as, like, the business contact for booking. But, like, I was thinking about that. Like, you went to the page, and she's like, oh, I just thought you guys were so hot, and I just wanted to text Dom, and I thought he was so cute. I'm like, it says my name. It says my name, and directly underneath it is our manager's name and our manager's personal number and everything. So I was like, I think Damon's just getting titty pictures. Like, I think our manager is just like, your female
He's
audience is great.
He's
Yeah.
holding out on you guys. That's what it is.
So that goes by and then texts Dom. And I was like, Dom, there's some chick who's trying to send you titty pictures and everything. And he's like, I don't know this person either. I'm like, well, they're trying to get in touch with you. So have fun with this. So not necessarily Spinal Tap moment, but, you know, it was pretty funny.
I'm just throwing haymakers trying to think of other ones.
That's happened a couple of times, unfortunately. And then there was the one where Dom told him to go eat animal crackers.
Animal crackers, yeah.
Oh, animal cracker story was horrible.
That was that's incredibly vulgar. We got somebody because we got another like 2 or 3 of these had happened within like a week or two. It was only me and Dom, so we're like somebody's just messing with us. Like, this is just like a dude saying it's a chick, like asking for dick pics. Yeah, so it's catfishing the shit out of
Hey,
us.
bro, you're hot. Can I have your social security number?
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
It wasn't me.
So I guess Dom kind of took the incentive and it was like, yo, someone's messing with me, I'm going to mess with him back. So this girl's like, yo, I'm going to queef all up on your dick and shit. And Dom is like, all right, well, I need you to get pink frosted animal crackers and shove them directly into your vagina and then shit them into my mouth so I can eat them. And then she's like, well, if you weren't serious or anything, you didn't have to say that. He's like, what, bitch, you don't like animal crackers?
Holy fuck.
Yeah, so like, you know, after that, I think it finally stopped with all the ridiculous sexting that was trying to happen within our band.
Not me.
It was just me and Dom. We were just getting these weird, shitty fucking text messages.
Oh my god, that's great. You guys must be a blast to hang out with. I mean, you know, just
I question it sometimes, and then like when a foreigner comes into our circle, and we're like, oh wow, we're fucked. we brought poor Mark Naples. He's a guitar player for Falling from Eden. That
Poor kid.
How I have a Spinal Tap moment
oh,
when the crazy, ridiculous metal band in O'Connell's yelled, "Get that fucking dinosaur!"
oh,
in a serious metal voice, and you in a dinosaur outfit moshed with hardcore kids.
yeah. I have a giant blow-up dinosaur outfit that like you see on the internet. My
Yeah,
girlfriend
yeah.
got me one for Christmas, and I've been wearing it to shows, just like other bands. I just jump like on stage and just jump, and I'll just leave. Like it only happens for like a couple seconds. But like the most ridiculous band ever, called the New Rain. They're the heaviest band I've ever played with, and they were just the coolest dudes ever. So we always play with them when we're in West Virginia. And I get in the pit to do my dinosaur thing, and their lead singer just goes, "Get the dinosaur!" And I'm like, "Oh god!" And then like the pit erupts, and then like I have to hardcore kid
With his tiny arms.
Yeah, like,
oh
This
god,
is-
I hope there's fucking video of
Yeah.
this.
There is somewhere, actually.
Yeah.
I guess Greg was supposed to be, because I can't see in the outfit. Like the head is just, and like you can't breathe either, so everything fogs up inside of
Right.
it. So I'm just in the middle of the pit, and like I'm just trying to throw punches, and the only thing I could do was my dinosaur kick, which was just. So like my weird dinosaur kick was the only thing defending me. To which point he had a stroke from laughter and didn't save me.
I saved you.
Did
I
you?
would
I
have pissed
did.
myself.
Yeah.
I'm pissing myself now. I can
You
only
were still
imagine.
throwing dinosaur kicks when we were halfway to the merge booth because you didn't know where you were. So you were still fighting me trying to save you.
Well, then the last time we played Harrisburg, we did like a couple dates with a band called Super Bob. And their last song, I changed into the dinosaur outfit and I hit the stage, and everyone's jumping, and like Matt, their lead singer, didn't expect it at all. So he was so just shocked by it, he forgot to sing the last chorus. So he's there jumping, just staring at him. The rest of the audience is jumping with just the dinosaur.
Yeah. I know there's video of that on our Instagram.
Yes,
Plug,
that's
plug,
on our
plug.
Instagram.
You can watch Willosaurus Rex jump with the crowd to Super Bowl.
It's just become a thing now of like, what can I do with the dinosaur outfit at the show? So I was really upset I didn't do it at the ECMC.
You would have died.
It would have been worth it.
All right.
What a glorious
It would have
death.
been worth
What a glorious
He
death.
died as he lived.
All right, so now I need to hear this story about Mark.
Oh yeah,
I forgot it.
Naples.
Naples, right.
I got you.
Correct. We were playing we did it like 2 days or something like that with West Virginia, and this young glorious child, Mark Naples, comes with us, and he's so like wide-eyed and happy to be in music and everything, and he's a ridiculous guitar player. We're like, why don't you come tech for us for a couple days and like, you know, see what it's like outside of Scranton, you know, outside of your local music scene. So he gets in like the van with us, and we just like, you know, haul ass down to Virginia, and we're the terrible influential band on the 19, 20-year-old kid. So we're like, all right, you know, like we all get free drink tickets and stuff. So I'm like, I don't drink, so give him to Mark. And he's like, well, we'll give another one to Mark. And we just kind of give him the free drinks for that. He was incredibly responsible, but you know, at the same time, we're feeding him, you know, alcohol. And then it was the same show where Dinosaur Will happened, and then it was the same show.
I had my debacle that we're not talking about.
Yeah, there's a couple like just the thing like, oh, you must be a blast hang. I was like, no, we're actually kind of boring. And then like this kid comes with us, and we're like, oh shit, like we just everything was everything that happened could have happened. And then like we know his mom and his parents and everything, so like we don't get back from these shows until like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So like we do like, you know, 16, 20 hours worth of driving and whatever. So like I get tired midway through, so like I pull over, I go to sleep, everything, and he left his car in a Garrity's parking lot. So like I had to drive back to the Garrity's parking lot like 7 o'clock in the morning, and like I had to like text his mom like, he's fine, he's coming back with us. It's a long show ride and everything, but it was just one of those interesting outsider situations. I think I had something else to say that, but I forgot. I'm like struggling to find it.
With Mark?
Yeah.
Down there?
Something happened, and I'm struggling to remember what it was.
I'm staying out of this one.
Well, let's play another song, guys. I got
That's probably for the best.
I got Overcome on deck. Tell us about it.
That's one of like the oldest.
It is.
Johanna Grey songs.
It absolutely is. It's actually probably my favorite song in general.
It was a song we wrote like when we first started the band, and it just never got vocals to it. Like it just kind of kept getting passed over, and like Eric really didn't know what to do with it. He's like, I can't think of any like melodies or anything to put for this song. So like it never made the cut for Tyrants, and it went by the wayside. And then when we got Dom, like we had brought it up about bringing the song back, and our producer had always loved it. So he's like, this is a great song, and it was kind of that thing we were talking about earlier before, where Dom had the vocals, and there's a lot of back and forth in it between me and him. And he's like, this is something new to add to the band, where now there's not necessarily just the singer and by himself and just Dom. Like, you know, I'll do the second verse with him, and then, you know, I do all the backups and everything in the chorus, and then in the bridge too. So like, there's a lot of back and forth going on. I can't have anything nice.
All right, gang. Well, check it out. This is Behind the Gray with Overcome. We'll be right back. right, gang, we're back with the guys from behind the gray.
Yep.
Grant, Will, Mike. Another great song, guys.
Thank you.
Tight,
so much.
tight, unbelievable. And you know, and that's it. You can hear it. You can hear it in the production. You're just not in the studio one day for 8 hours pumping out a couple tunes. I mean, you can hear just there's a lot of work goes into these songs, man.
Thank you. It's a labor of love.
Well, right. Yeah. Again, not to sound corny, but it is, right? Yeah.
You got. I think I've personally learned in time just to take your time and to not like put like a lot of deadlines on things because it adds like a lot of pressure you don't need. And when the song is done, it's done. Like don't just keep like plugging at it and don't be afraid to like make changes, make improvements, and things like that. So. It's a constant. I'm sure a producer wants to kill us at times, but
Most of the time for me.
yeah, he's an incredible drummer. So like he comes in and we're like, I need you to do, and Mike's like, yeah, give me a week.
Yeah. Try this. Yeah, I can't do that even practicing
Just
6 days
try
a week.
it.
At least I'm honest. Like he comes out and he throws some stuff. I'm like, that's probably not going to happen.
But we want to be challenged too. So Mike kind of got the brunt end this time around with like songs like Treason and Reverence and stuff like that because there was a lot of like involved drumming in those songs. So it was a lot of do this, try this, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, 500 takes. So
12 hours later, somebody give me food.
yeah, basically.
God, I couldn't even imagine it because that's, vocals, guitars, bass, but drums, that's physical, man. That's your whole fucking body.
Mike's not an in-shape person, so like it takes a lot out of him.
It pays to be fat sometimes. I stay warm in the winter.
That's true. I'm freezing, so that sucks.
I'm here in shorts and a t-shirt dying, and Will's trying to steal my coat.
Saying skinny people suck.
Oh, shit. So let's recap a little. You got the new EP out, Treason. It's out now, right?
Yeah, it's
They can
out
get it
now.
Where can they get it?
You can get it off our website, behindthegraymusic.com. You can get it for $5. We'll send you a signed copy. You can get it from all the digital music outlets, Amazon MP3, iTunes. You can stream it on Spotify.
Stream it on Spotify.
Stream it on Spotify.
Stream it
For the
on
rest of this
Spotify.
conversation, this is full circle. Stream it on Spotify.
Well, we were full circle.
Okay. But yeah, Behind the Gray Music is the hub for everything, but all the major outlets, you can find it.
Awesome. And where can they find you guys on the net?
BehindTheGrayMusic.com is the hub, has all of our tour dates, photos. You can stream our stuff there. You can order merch there. And, of course, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like all the Snapchat, YouTube. We're on everything. So we will come into our world and
Google us.
Google.
See, now, I got all that, but I pretty much only use Facebook. I got it so nobody else would have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I
so you take the domain name and everything?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the only one I really use is Facebook.
That's the same here. Like I'm pretty privy with Facebook and everything. I don't understand Twitter. I'm not like a huge
Yeah, I
Twitter
know.
person.
It's got limits on.
I guess
Yeah, you can only like type so many characters, and then like I don't understand the hashtag thing.
No.
Like
I never feel older than when I'm on Twitter. Like someone sends a tweet and it's at mentioned, but it's also retweeted, but it's favorited, and they're responding to a tweet you can't see, and then you click on something, and then it's somebody else's tweet, and I'm like, I'm going home.
yeah.
It just blew my mind.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Let's say if they like Instagram, like it's Twitter for pictures.
Yeah.
I'm like this. All right, dude.
Yeah,
how come you just
I-
can't go to a Facebook and look at a picture and see it like text? Or you don't have to read the text. You look at the pretty picture. Scroll. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, it is
getting
what
back
it
to
is.
you guys.
It's our curmudgeon complaining.
That's another thing with being an indie band, taking care of a dozen social media sites at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough.
You need an intern.
I have a bass player. I guess it's the same thing.
Hashtag Faces for Radio. I just took that. Go to our Instagram page right now. See my sweet ass steady handwork, all vibrating up in the sky.
I blame it on coffee.
God. Dates. What dates you got?
October 7th, we'll be at the V Spot in Scranton, and then October 21st, we'll be at O'Conley's in West Virginia, and then October 29th, we'll be doing a benefit concert for Making Music Matter for Kids. We'll have an event and everything posted for that as soon as we get all the information, but that's going to be an awesome event for Halloween.
Awesome. Well, I want to play the last song on this EP, Treason, man. It's the title track.
Yeah.
So tell us about the tune.
Just kind of like how Inner Light was the first song we had written with Dom to kind of like, this is our sound, this is us. I think Treason was the song that we had written where we had written it and said, like, this is where we're going. Like, this is, what the rest of our album's kind of going to be in this vein for. And, at the time, like, not as a band, but as individuals, we were going through, like, a lot of, I guess you want to say, like, turmoil and drama and stuff like that. So when Dom came in with the lyrics, it had really, like, reflected a lot of that. And it was a catalyst for us kind of like getting bad and negative people out of our lives permanently. And, that whole, when you get rid of somebody, you just feel betrayed. And, what they had done to you and everything like that. So it was very important song for us. And then it was one of those songs when we were recording it, for like singles and stuff, our producer necessarily wasn't like, he liked it, but he wasn't like enthused by it. And Grant was the one like, what about Treason? Like, what about this song? Like, can we, and kind of push the envelope for it, which made us reanalyze it and put it out, and ended up being the lead single. So, like, if Grant hadn't pushed for it, it probably wouldn't have, been the first single, or it probably just would have been an album track.
So I'd like my sunset clause to reflect that I discovered Treason.
You remembered Sunset Clause?
I remembered Sunset Clause.
Wow, you're doing so much better.
Thanks.
You're going to be a big boy musician one day.
It's okay, because after this, he's never going to remember it again.
That's true. All right, gang. Let's do some Treason right now, Behind the Gray, and we'll be right back.
Relations, toxic ones on the go.
right, gang. We're back with Behind the Gray Treason. I've been playing that for a little while. Well, a couple weeks now.
Cool.
Since
So-
since we released it.
Yes. Yeah. So that's another awesome. The whole EP, man. It's killer.
Cool, man. Thank you.
It's killer. And you guys, again, your professionalism is above and beyond when it comes to your trade here. It's you're not just going in 8 hours of studio time for one day, nailing out a bunch of songs, and you can hear a lot of work and effort goes into each tune.
Thank you, man. That means a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So, guys, it's the end of the show. I want to thank you for again coming. It's amazing how 2.5 hours flies by when you guys are here. So, Mike, thank you. Will, thank you. Grant, thank you. Well, you're an encyclopedia of knowledge, man. Grant, your analogies and one-liners fucking kill me, dude. And Mike,
more a curse.
Your shenanigans and your Spinal Tap moments, your stories, your on the road stories.
Listen, actually, the thing with Mark, that there's things that we're not talking about.
I can't remember.
But again, at the end of every show, you guys know I play Blue Felix, Middle Finger Up band from Minnesota, and we dedicate the finger to someone or something that's pissed us off that week. And again, I want you guys to partake in this little tradition I have here. So, Mike, we'll start with you, man.
I guess just not having enough hours in the day to do everything that I want to get done.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm gonna go. Fuck you. No, I won't say fuck you to Mike.
Fuck you, Mike.
I'll just say middle finger to lazy people. Middle finger to the people that don't want to put in the fucking work. I'm tired of hearing you, bitch. Do some
Yeah.
fucking work.
No shit. Grant, you got a creeper.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
all
gonna
I'm
say fuck you to the guy who just sent me a text like, "Hey, do you live here?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Okay, that's all I wanted to know." So I believe in all the amendments. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying I've been friends with this guy for 15 years and he's drawn a gun on me at least 3 times.
Name
To
all 3.
the time when
Don't actually do.
He's got that written down. There's at least 15.
I'm just saying that I was his roommate for a fair amount of time, and out of fear, I had to develop my own doorbell ring so he would answer the phone and not draw down on me. So, whoever mystery texter is, I think it's really safe to say you fucked up.
I'm just coming for the show.
Oh shit! And I want to say like a big fuck you to being able or to being not being able to make this our day jobs.
Amen.
How
Not
cool
yet.
would that be if we could just all fucking quit our day jobs tomorrow and just do what we love doing? So a big fuck you to that, right?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Again, it's been a blast. It's been a pleasure. You're always welcome back here. Mike, you're always welcome to crash.
Don't
Just
tell him
show
that.
up, well,
He's gonna do it anyway.
He's gonna do it anyway.
Might as well just give me the heads up.
Yeah,
because
right.
Then it's like, but you told me.
Yeah. Who do you got coming over? Okay, I'll be there.
I haven't been a fake drummer in like 3 months.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You've been a fake drummer your whole career.
Hey, you shut up. We're staying to write your guitar parts.
Play the middle finger song.
All right, gang. I'll be back next week. We're gonna have Corners of Sanctuary here with their new singer Trace Logan. I think it's her first interview ever. So that'll be cool, man. So we're gonna be introducing her, and I'm like usual. There's probably gonna be about 20 minutes of talking music, and the rest of the show is gonna be ball busting. So we'll be here for that. So until then, be safe, stay well, keep it metal. This is Blue Felix Middle finger up. See ya.
Dressed like 13 bucks of blue free legs about to come fuck shit up with the realness, so you can feel the fuck. I straight kill kids with slips in the stock, and you know this, so don't wonder why. Dogs of doom up and line to die. Blue free legs will never comply. From them fingers up in the sky. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Shit that I spit from the mind full of clutter. D.O.D. click, leave you lying in the gutter. Talk your shit, run for cover. Use a bitch like a mother. I'm the one, the only toxic trick. The fucking bottle's tattooed up inside of my lip. So every word that I spit comes straight from the hip. It's screaming, fuck the world, don't you ever forget. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. Put your middle finger up, Belia. Put your middle finger up. You ain't a meal. Now here's the real deal. Leave you laid out with your motherfucking cap. Real doesn't conceal. We kill slowly. The innocent of balls. They can never fucking hold me. I ain't got no time for the motherfucking shitty kids. That's how to send me out. Cause I'm a motherfucking maniac. And anger is a gift. I will stop till I'm done with the blue relax. On the tip of the tongue. We'll break some free. The goddamn case from the bottom to the top and everything in between.